Hello, everyone. We are so excited that you're here with us today for trivia. I just started introducing us, but usually Randy
That's
does.
good. Go
So,
ahead.
Randy, why don't you take over?
Oh, we have changed our behind the scenes technology, which is why like Melissa started introducing us because she's like driving things now. So she could see when we went live and I couldn't. So welcome to Homeschool Trivia. It's our December class. We're going to be doing Christmas around the world and the winter solstice. But first, Melissa was going to give us a little disclaimer about our possible
Yes.
technical challenges.
Yes, we have switched the live stream service that we use. It's all behind the scenes. It shouldn't affect anything that you do on your end, but we might have a few little bumps to work out along the way. So if you hang in there with us, we'll hang in there with you and we'll have a lot of fun this afternoon going for trivia. And welcome, Ashley. Anyone else who's here, chime on in and we cannot wait to get started with Christmas around the world and the winter solstice. We are super excited. I'm super excited. It's very chilly here today, so maybe it's chilly where you are. Grab some hot chocolate and come play trivia with us.
Um, I cannot see the comments, which is fine for now. But so you're in charge of reading everybody's answers for
Okay,
now.
I will read everybody's answers.
All right. Are we ready to start?
Yes.
Let's go. So we changed since we only have two topics today, we each did 8 questions instead of our 5 and 5. So just heads up, there's going to be eight
Yeah.
of these. All right, so question one. Germany is given credit for many Christmas traditions. One involves hiding a food ornament. So I don't mean it's a real food, I just mean it's shaped like food in the tree, and whoever finds it receives a bonus gift. So what is the food? Do you think it's an orange, a bratwurst, a pickle, or a pretzel? What food ornament do some people hide in the tree, and whoever finds it gets a bonus gift? Do you do this tradition in your family, Melissa?
Well, we don't do the part about the bonus gift, but
Okay,
I took 4 years of German in high school, and so I have a glass blown version of this that we hang
gotcha.
on our tree
All
that
right,
I
very
bought
nice.
at the big Christmas market, the Chris Kindle market in Chicago when I was in high school. We took like a field trip down there. My German class did. So I do know this one, so I'm definitely not
Very good.
speculating.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
don't
we
even have this ornament, so I didn't even
Ashley's
know about it until a few years ago. Go ahead.
Ashley's 6-year-old says D.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for any other answers for a little bit here. I think it's really fun. We just never had like a bonus gift takes a lot of coordination on the part of
Well,
mom, right?
right.
I
And
don't
then
have that
somebody's
much
gonna
in
feel
me.
left out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally get
All
not
right.
liking
We
if
have
you don't do
Paula
it.
joining us, and her 9-year-old says C, and Ashley's 10-year-old also says C. So we got some answers in
Okay. Well,
in
let's see.
today.
So everybody says it starts with a P. So
Yep.
which
Yep.
P is it? It is the pickle. And here's an example of what a pickle ornament might look like. Does that look like
It
yours?
is almost exactly like
Okay.
ours. Ours
Very
might be like a tiny bit smaller, but very similar.
All right, question two. In Iceland, families have a tradition of exchanging which of the following on Christmas Eve? So just one. And they then make use of them the rest of the evening. So that's like a little clue. Okay. So they exchange one of these things and then they use them. So is it games, books, cooking tools, so pots and pans or spoons or whatever, or pajamas? What
Ooh,
do you think?
I know this one too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say. It's really
No,
fun
you
though. I
can't
love this.
say.
I love this tradition. And every year I'm like, oh, I should start it. But then every year sometimes at Christmas we have enough going on. And
Mhm.
my own personal
Absolutely.
philosophy is not to start traditions that I would have a hard time keeping up with
Right.
because then it's just a lot of stress.
Mhm.
So I think like in my family, we kind of pick like a couple of things that matter to us the most and go
Right.
all in on those things instead of trying to do everything. So
I
even though I
agree.
super love this one, um, it's we haven't done it yet. So we have one and two answers, three answers of B and one of A from
Okay.
Ashley's kids and Paula's kids. So that's what we have. Most say B and one says A.
All right. So I would say either would be fabulous. And you could do either one for a tradition in your
Yes.
house. But in Iceland, it is books. So they exchange books and then they spend the evening reading books. So I try to make the day after Christmas a day for laying around and reading a book because I'm like, I'm tired. I'm gonna just recover today.
Yes.
So that's my little personal tradition. All right, question three this is kind of fun. Which of the following Christmas traditions originated in ancient Egypt? So you didn't know there was a Christmas tradition that goes back to ancient Egypt. Now, obviously, it wasn't a Christmas tradition in ancient Egypt. I'm just saying the thing came from ancient Egypt. So was it mulled cider, gift giving, candles, or fruit cake? Which of those four items comes to us from ancient Egypt and now it's a Christmas tradition?
Ooh,
Oh,
this one I do
don't
not know.
know. All right.
I don't know. But I do really love cider. Not that I'm gonna guess it because I love it, but it's probably like my favorite holiday drink.
We bought some mulling spices at a little local gift shop. We're, supporting small businesses. And yeah, I don't know. To me, it's too sweet because it's got the cinnamon and all the good stuff, but it's
Yeah,
also sugar, and then cider is already kind of sweet. So I was like, I took a few sips, and that was good. It tasted good. It's just like a little bit was enough for
yeah.
me.
All right, we have a couple answers coming in. We have one answer for D and one answer for C so far, both from Ashley's
Okay.
kids. They're split again. Paula, she says LJ guesses C with a question mark, so not a very strong guess. We are all curious here, all wondering what it could possibly be.
All right. Well, it is fruit cake. So the idea of making a cake with fruit and nuts in it comes from ancient Egypt. The malt cider comes from England. The candles were a later development, and right now it's slipping my brain where they were and when exactly. But candles were a later development. Now I want to look that up again. I want to say Italy, but maybe not. All right. Question four, and I might not pronounce the city correctly. So on December 23rd, which is 2 days before Christmas, in no, see, I know Oaxaca, Mexico. There is a competition of carving nativity scenes as well as other designs into what type of food? So are they carving large radishes, pumpkins, cake, or butter? It's become a yearly tradition. There's like a big kind of festival and people show off their carvings. What kind of food are they carving? Do you know
I
this
don't
one,
have a guess
Melissa?
on I don't know either. All I can think of is other carved things of these things, right? Like
Right.
a couple of weeks ago we saw a video of people like carving giant pumpkins into boats and racing them somewhere in Europe. Yes, you
That's
sit in your
funny.
little pumpkin boat and you row it and you got to be the fastest to row your pumpkin around this like buoy. So
That's
that's what this
funny.
that's what these answer made me think. All right,
That's
so
funny.
we have Ashley is guessing D, LJ is guessing A, Ashley's 10-year-old is guessing B, and Ashley's 6-year-old is guessing C. So we have all the
All of
answers
them.
here. All of the answers here.
All right. What do you want to guess, Melissa?
Um, I want to guess large radishes.
You're right. It is large
Yes.
radishes. And here's like a picture. Can you kind of see? I'm not even sure this one's supposed to be a nativity scene because the bottom thing is something about playing ball. Um, but anyways, you can get an idea what the radishes look like and how they stack them and arrange them. So. All right,
because it was
number
the most fun.
5. So we have to think about our globe and in Australia and the rest of the southern hemisphere, so the bottom half. Christmas occurs in the summer. Okay, it's the opposite of those of us in the northern hemisphere. So instead of a sleigh, how does Santa arrive in Australia? Does he come by surfboard, by boat, by car, or by hot air balloon? How does Santa arrive?
This is a fun
Maybe you
question
never
too.
thought that
I
he
have
might
never thought about this.
arrive other places in a different way.
This makes me think of I love reading like different stories that are like slight versions of different things, right?
Mm.
So thinking about Santa arriving different ways in Australia is fun.
Hmm. When my boys were really little, like kindergarten and first grade, each month we'd pick a fairy, like a known fairy tale, Three Little Pigs, whatever, and we get all the different versions out of the library and read one a day and compare them. And it's a very interesting, fun thing to do. It teaches that whole comparison, contrasting, and
All right, we have here some guesses. Ashley's 6-year-old says C. LJ guesses A. Tropical preppy, I think that's how you say that, guesses D. And Ashley's 10-year-old also guesses D. So we have every answer except for B. Nobody thinks he's riding
no
on a boat.
boat. Okay, no boat. Well, if you said a surfboard, you are correct. That is how Santa gets to Australia.
I
All right.
couldn't decide if I wanted it more to be a surfboard or a hot air balloon because I also thought a hot air
It
balloon
would
would
be
be really
fun.
fun.
It would be fun. All right, now let's go back up to the Northern Hemisphere, way up, close to North Pole to Sweden. And in Sweden, instead of the reindeer, they have a different animal that is associated with Christmas. So what do you think it is? Do you think it's a dog, a horse, a goat, or a donkey? So it's just kind of an animal they associate with Christmas. So you'll see
I don't have
ornaments
any
of
idea
it.
about this either.
And maybe like statue type of stuff at Christmas. And so see what you think.
A dog makes me think of the Grinch, right? With his little dog Max with the reindeer antlers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen The Grinch in a while.
Yeah, I have read that story many times to my kids. We used to read it every year, but they're a little bit outgrowing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have so far two guesses for B coming in. Ashley's
Okay.
10-year-old and LJ are both guessing B. And the 6-year-old, Ashley's 6-year-old is also guessing B. So far everyone thinks that it is a horse.
Okay. Are we waiting on one more person?
Yeah, there's one more person.
Okay. We'll give them a second or three. All
It's
right.
it's to behind the scenes, a little behind the scenes talk for you guys. When we say it, it does not go instantly to YouTube. So we want to make sure, especially with our new streaming service, that we're giving you enough time to answer the questions.
Yes, there's a delay from when we speak and you all hear it. All right. I don't know. Maybe they're stumped. It is a goat. It's called the Yule goat. So here's just like an example. It's not really an ornament. It's more like a little statue, little decoration somebody might have in their house. You can look up Yule, Yule, Yule goat, if you want to learn a little more later. All right, now we're going down to South America. We're going all over the world here. So in Venezuela, what is a popular outdoor activity on Christmas Eve? Is it roller skating? Is it playing basketball? Is it planting flowers? Or is it going Christmas caroling? So this is like become a tradition that they do this thing. Many people will do this thing on Christmas Eve. So which do you think it is? Do you know this one,
I
Melissa?
I have no idea, but it
I didn't
makes
know
me
this
think
till I
about
was searching for some, different. I wanted to get different areas of the world, so I found this was
it
new.
makes me think this year I was thinking about maybe going cross country skiing on Christmas
Mhm.
Eve morning because like why not? Like go cross country
Mhm.
skiing, come home, get all cozied up, then later
Yep.
go to church in the evening for the carols and candlelight service and everything like that. So it
Sounds
it
like a
it
plan to me.
it would be fun, right? And like maybe I could start an accidental tradition.
We have
Uh,
friends that do a Christmas Eve brunch every year. So that's what we go and how we start our day on Christmas Eve. Although my husband might have to work. We're gonna have to chat about that.
I think you should have brunch anyways. All right, we
Oh
have
yeah,
some
I will
guesses
go.
in here. We have LJ guessing B, Ashley's 6-year-old is guessing C, and her 10-year-old is guessing D, and then Tropical Preppy is also guessing D. So we have all the answers except for A. Nobody thinks there's roller skating.
Do you want to guess, Melissa?
I really wanted to be roller skating just because I think that's fun. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'll. Oh,
It is roller skating. In fact, a lot of people will roller skate to church, like through the city
fun.
streets. Like they close the streets so they can roller skate to church. It's more in the cities, I think. I don't know that it's really necessarily out in country areas. And I think I saw that like where there's large communities of people from Venezuela, like maybe in different cities in America, that they will do some of that in the neighborhood too. So it is, it's roller skating.
Fun.
All right, last one. So this tradition's in a few different countries in Europe. So like Poland, Germany, and Ukraine all have this tradition. So if you go outside and you get a real tree and you bring it in your house, it is good luck to find something in your Christmas tree. So what is it? Is it a bird's nest, a cocoon, a pine cone, or a spider web? Which of those items is it good luck to find in your Christmas tree?
Ooh. I don't know about this one. I would
Oh,
say
really?
that.
Okay, this is one I've known for a while. In fact, like we did a little craft with it several years ago.
Yeah, I mean I would be kind of like personally I don't want to find any spider webs in my Christmas tree. I mean, I know, I am sure that they do a lot of good things. I know that spiders are important and they eat bugs that we don't want around, but I would personally not like to feel that we're living in a tree. My friend bought a tree, a Christmas tree once, and then many baby spiders hatched, and I'm like, no, this
Oh,
is not for me.
oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's a good point if there are lots of babies. I hear, I don't know if it's true stories of people like getting it home and there's like a small, like a little mouse or a squirrel, like a little mammal in it. That kind of would freak me out more. Like, how are you going to get rid of that? A spider web would be easy. Any of these would
That's
be
true.
easy to like get rid of. But
All right, so far we have two guesses for A, one for D, and one for C. So nobody thinks it's B, a cocoon, which
okay,
kind of
it's
makes
not.
sense because it's the wrong time of year for
It is.
cocoons.
But I needed something else
Yes.
natural to put there. So it is a spider web. So when we did like a Christmas around the world thing years ago, we learned about Ukraine and we made like a spider, like a little crafty spider web. All right. Well, I am going to unshare my screen and let Melissa put up her slides.
All right, give me a
And
second
now I'll be able
to
to
remember how
see
to
the
do this.
chat. I think. Well, maybe only you see everybody's messages because I don't see any messages.
I will try and explain it to you later how to see them, but I can't explain and
Okay, no, you're fine. You'll just have
do
to
this at
keep
the same
reading the
time.
answers.
Randy, why don't you talk about your upcoming winter thing that you're doing?
Well, winter.
Weren't you doing a winter thing with Katie?
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. So, for those of you that came last year to homeschool trivia, when Katie from the Wolf Pack was with me, she and I have we really haven't told many people. I don't know if I've put it at the bottom of our emails even. So we are doing a holiday handbook expansion pack. So we're going to have a new calendar to go with our holiday handbook that was on sale last year that had unit studies and fact packs to celebrate 18 holidays in your school. So that'll be on sale if people did not grab it last year. But then we're also going to have an expansion pack. So if you already have it, it's going to have your new 2025 calendar and it's going to have 4 mini unit studies and 4 backpack about the seasons. So you can do winter, spring, summer, and fall. And you'll have all those as well. And then that will have our 2 freebies from last year in case people missed them, which was New Year's Eve and Martin Luther King. So yes, that's coming out January 5th. Oh, and the freebie this year to introduce it will be mini unit study and fact pack about Inauguration Day. So look for that in early January.
All right, I almost have this. Sorry, guys, bear with me. It's a
You're
little bit
okay.
different, and it was giving me a little trouble for a second. I had it for a second, and then I lost it. Um, so just bear with me for one more second, and I
All right.
will
And
get
I
this.
was going
There
to
we go.
say for January's trivia that I will be doing Inauguration Day as my trivia thing to go along with that mini unit study. And I'm going to share, while Melissa's still looking, that she's going to be doing Mozart
Yes.
in January. So, anyways, that's a little
All
preview.
right. Yes. I am just about ready. Uh, there we go. That's like as big as I can get it. Can you all see that? Hopefully, let us know if you
Perfect.
can. If you can see that, I'll just move it so I can see the comments too. Oh, yes. And Ashley says they're looking forward to the body mini unit studies also.
Yes. Okay. See, I can't remember what I've hinted at. So, yes, we will be having body mini unit studies, cells, blood. I don't know. There's a couple others that I hadn't gotten to the last time we did the body unit studies. All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, now I'm like over on the side. I gotta, okay. All right. How many winter solstices are there every year? Is it A1, B2, C3, or D4? So what do you think?
All right, I've been trying to play around with my chat here, see if I could see people, but I can't.
You have to go into YouTube. I'm trying to figure out how to make it
Oh,
full screen for everybody to see it. Because it was cutting off the side there for a moment. I think hang in there with me, folks, as I figure out all the technical aspects of going live on this new service that we are not used to doing. So thank you for your patience. So question one. Okay, we have some 2A guesses and 1B guess. Do you have a guess, Randy? Do you know?
well, yes, I know. So you
Okay.
do this. I'm gonna pause myself or mute myself for a minute so I
Okay.
don't. Okay.
All right. So let's see. And then yeah, 2A guesses and 1B guess. Thank you for hanging in there during that little transition blip to make sure that I could get it so you could see the whole thing on the screen. All right. Okay. I'm going to go forward with the next one. There
Okay.
are 2 winter solstices every year. Because if you think about the Earth, remember the reason that we have
Oh.
solstices is the tilt. So while we here in the Northern Hemisphere are about to have our winter solstice, it's about to be the summer solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. So then in roughly 6 months, when it's our summer solstice, I'm trying to show the Earth moving around the sun, right? So when we're at a tilt and then it's our winter solstice and their summer solstice, as it moves around, then eventually it will be our summer solstice and their winter solstice. So there is one winter solstice for each hemisphere at different times of the year. All right. Question two. The solstice is the first day of what kind of winter? Is it A, seasonal, B, meteorological, C, astronomical, or D, ice style? What kind of winter is this first day of winter?
First day. What kind of
Yeah.
winter? Okay.
You got it?
I have
You
an idea.
you have an idea.
Hmm.
All right. Some of these I made up. I mean, I didn't make up the facts. I didn't make up the real facts, but obviously when you're
Some of
doing
the
multiple
wrong
choice, you have to
answers.
make up the answers. Yes, you have to make up the answers. I
Some of
didn't
the
make up
wrong
the facts.
answers.
I didn't make up the facts.
Right.
All right. So we have some two guesses for B and one guess for C. All right. Go
I'm going to
ahead.
guess C as well.
That's because C is correct. It is astronomical winter. Meteorological winter is usually that's set by when the weather is changing, right? And so a lot of people will say December 1st is
Mhm.
meteorological winter, and seasonal and ice style I just made up. Those are not things. I just made them up. All right. Then we have question 3. Winter solstice has the longest what? A, sound waves, B, season, C, day, or D, shadows. Which one of these is longest on the winter solstice?
Oh, oh, and I typed the wrong question. Sorry. I was
That's
trying to
okay.
be helpful and I just confused us.
That's okay. So, do you have a guess on this one, Randy?
I know this one because my
You know this one.
grandfather's birthday was around the winter solstice, and he would always say something occurred when he was born.
Oh, that's really fun. All right. So we have in there a guess for D and a guess for A
So we have sound waves and shadows
and a guess for C.
and day.
All
I
right. So
kind
gonna
of feel like it could be two.
it could be two, which is the one that
Okay.
all right, well, you tell me what you think the other one is after I tell the answer.
Okay.
Winter solstice has the longest shadows.
Okay.
So during the winter solstice, uh,
Oh,
at around noon
yes.
on the winter solstice, you are going to have the longest shadows of any time of the year because of the angle that the sun is hitting the earth. Everything on that day has longer shadows than at other times of year. And we have already started observing this, even though it isn't the winter solstice
Mm.
yet. We have observed, like, the other day we were walking and we were like, whoa, look at how long our shadows is. So
Hmm.
so you can already start seeing how long the shadows are. What were you thinking, Randy?
My brain switched it.
Oh
Longest
yeah,
day, shortest day. My brain had
yes.
just
Yes,
totally
is
switched
a
it.
little
That
bit
was
of a
not
trick
correct.
question, right? The longest day is the summer solstice
Right?
and the
Yes.
winter solstice is the
Longest
shortest
night,
day. Yeah,
shortest
or
day.
the longest night.
Yeah.
All right. Question 4. How many times, well, I lost my screen for a second. How many times has there been a full moon on the winter solstice since 1793? You think it's A, 10, B, 100, C, 1000, or D, 1 million? How many times has there been a full moon on the winter solstice since 1793? So this is how far back we have like kind of records,
Mhm.
reliable records. I am sure they could do like the math and figure it out.
Right.
Because we know that they can calculate like eclipses and things like that for past. So I'm
Right.
sure they could figure it out. But I don't know if they don't want to, or 1793 was just a good time to start. But how many times do you think there's been a full moon on the winter solstice since 1793? Not nearby it, but directly on it. All
So
right.
are we supposed to have one this year? Is that why you
No,
brought? No. Okay.
no, we're not supposed to have one this year. I think,
Okay. Because
well,
we're
I
like
don't know
at
if I
what,
should
half a
say,
moon right now? Are we at half
yeah,
moon?
I don't know if I should say when the most recent one was, because maybe that will give you too
Yeah.
much of
No.
an
No.
idea of which it was. So far we have an A and a B answer. Um, what do we see? Do we think anything else? How many times has there been a full moon on the winter solstice since 1793? And LJ is guessing C with a question mark. So I totally get that. Sometimes you just gotta take a guess, right? That's the nice thing about multiple choice is sometimes you can be right, even if you don't know,
And
which
is this
is,
including
oh,
the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere?
that's a good question. I
Mm.
don't know. I don't remember from when I
Because
looked it
you
up
tricked me with
yesterday.
that one, that question earlier. I
That
was
first
messing with the
question, how many
chat, but
winter
you did trick
solstices?
me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so it is 10. The next full moon on a winter solstice won't be until 2094.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's a lot of
Wow.
times it will be like really close to it,
Okay.
but not exactly on it where they line up, right? Because the moon is in its own thing that's separate
I
from the
know.
solstice.
It seems like it would be every 30 years or something, like something to do with 30 days or 28 actually, because the moon cycle's 28
Yeah.
days. Huh.
But also the solstice does not fall
Mm.
at exactly the same
Right,
time
right,
every year
right.
either because it has to do with the moment. I almost put a trivia
Mhm.
question about this, but I didn't. So I'll just tell you, has to do with the moment that it's over the Tropic of Capricorn exactly. So it varies a little bit, right? Because our
Right.
calendar
It's not always
was
the same day.
invented. It's not always the same as the astronomical calendar.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Interesting.
here's our next question. Question 5. The word solstice comes from the Latin word. Okay, I'm not really great at Latin. I'm gonna do my best. Solstice,
Solstitium.
what? Tium? Solstice.
Mhm.
You say it,
Solstitium.
Randy. Yes,
Solstitium.
I did German, not Latin. So, does it mean A, shortest day, B, point at which the sun stands still, C, day of peace, or D, alone in the world? So, it's not about what the word solstice means because that's different, but it comes from this Latin word solstitium, which means one of these four things. Which do you think it means?
We did, my oldest son and I did Latin for like 2 years. It got to the point where it just got really tedious and he does not have patience for tedious things, but he was into it in the beginning. It's very interesting.
Yes,
Um,
it's
if you have
totally
kids that like
interesting.
languages, it's like a fun thing to do.
Yes, my kids are really into we have used beginning word roots and also
Mhm.
uh oh, we have another book too that I'm not thinking of right now that are all about like what the di roots of different words means.
Right.
And my kids are really interested in that, but we have not gone full in on our Latin. So we have like LJ guessing B, Ashley's 6 year old is guessing A. So we have those two guesses right now.
To
Um,
piggyback on that, we did all about spelling. There's 7 levels. We went all the way through them. And it's the second last or the last gets into teaching you like, here are words in English that came from French, and you learn all those together. And here are ones that came from Spanish and from Greek. And that's kind of fun too, just to see which one.
yes,
All
yeah,
right, we have another C or a
yep.
C.
All right. So everything except for D. So it means the point at which the sun stands still. I was trying to sort of a little bit, if you think of other words that start with the soul, I was thinking of like solitary when I was trying to come up with my answers. So that's where I kind of came up with some of my fake answers for you, if you were
Gotcha.
curious, because they have that same soul prefix.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which of these famous sites were built to align with the winter solstice? Is it A, New Grange, which is a tomb mound built in Ireland, B, the Nazca Lines, C, Karnak, the temple in ancient Egypt, or D, all of the above? These are, I will tell you, these are all real places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't make up any places for this one. These are all things that really exist.
The Nazca lines are chilly, right? They're the western side of South America. Is that Chile over there? The long
I know
one?
they're in the Nazca Desert, but I don't remember exactly
I
what
think it's
country that's
Chile.
in.
We're learning about Stonehenge right now as part of our history, which was also built like to, line up with it might be like summer solstice might be a big day there. But yeah, it's interesting how a lot of those things were why a lot of those things were created.
All right, so
All
far we
right.
have one guess for D, another guess for D.
That would be my guess too, probably.
Yeah,
Why not?
another guess for D. So you are all right. It is all of the above and more. I didn't include everything that
Mhm.
I found, but these were all created to line up with the winter solstice. There's like a little window in New Grange that the light shines through in the winter solstice, and the Nazca lines they line up that they meet the point on the horizon where the sun is on the winter solstice. All right. This is my final question. The winter solstice
Mm,
always occurs on the same day. Actually, if you were paying attention, I said a little something about this a little bit
we
ago.
did. We
We
kind of did
did.
say
I forgot
something.
that I had this question in there. You ever
Oops.
do that? You're like, oh, but that was just a
Oops, let me
bonus
put
to
it in
see
here.
how well you were listening, right?
So seven, question seven.
I don't know. I thought this
All
was
right.
eight. This is my last question. Did I accidentally only make eight questions or seven questions? I don't know.
Well,
The
you're
last one
on
I got.
slide 14 out of 16. You sure this is your last one?
Yes, I'm sure this is my last one.
Okay. Well, then if it's slide 14, my guess is it's number seven.
Then I'm
That's
short
right.
one question. Sorry, guys. I not count well apparently when I was doing it.
All right. LJ says it's false. So we will see. True false questions can be the hardest sometimes because
Yes,
one
because
little word could,
yep,
change it. Hmm.
yes, exactly. That's always something you got to look out with true false questions to make
Hmm.
sure that they're not there. Sometimes you read it and at first glance you're like, oh, that's totally true, or oh, that's totally false. But it all a lot of times true and false questions will hinge on a single word.
Yes. And I'm going to get when we learn the answer, I'm going to give a little hint for true false questions. I remember in
Yes,
college, like really like those were the ones that I would get a little stressed over. I always like multiple choice better. All right,
yes.
we've got
So
all these. Everybody's thinking it's false.
yes, and it is true. It is false because not only, like we said earlier, there are two winter solstices. So in that regard, they're not always on the
Oh,
same
yeah,
day.
that's true.
But just in the year, there's slight variations because
Hmm.
our calendar does not line up perfectly with the astronomical calendar, which is like one reason why we have leap years to keep the seasons from getting all out of sorts. But just like that we need to add that extra time in there because the year doesn't line up perfectly. Um, and we add that extra time for year, just like that. The winter solstice, because it's an astronomical event, doesn't always line up perfectly with the same calendar day every year.
I
All right,
feel like
Randy,
it could
what's your
be
tip?
okay. I'll get there in a second. I feel like there's kind of a wide range of days it could be. I'll have to look. Like, can it be anywhere's from what, like the 20th to the 22nd, maybe? But I'm even
Yes,
feeling it
I
could
think
be
that's
earlier.
I think what I saw said like the 20th to the maybe even as far as the 23rd, but like right in that
Okay.
little range
It's a
there.
big window. Okay, so my hint is if you see words like always or never, I don't know if you could think of some more like that. And true false questions, they're usually false because very few things follow the always or never. That's a very extreme
Yeah, or
state.
only.
Only that would be, or
Yeah.
everyone, yep. Okay, so just
Okay.
stick that in your head. Let's see. If I share, I already said what we're doing, the end, but if I share my screen again, I'll put up my last slide because I think I forgot last month. Can we all
Yes.
see it? There we
Yep.
go. So join us on January 8th. So most of us will be going back to the real world January 6th, I'm imagining. So it's going to feel like the first week of January, but technically it's the second Wednesday of January. Join us January 8th. We're going to talk about the inauguration. We're going to talk about Mozart, and we'll see what's going on in the world. I always try to find like positive current events, and sometimes that's been hard lately. So hopefully there'll be like something positive or at least neutral going on in the world that we can use for our current event.
Yeah. Sometimes there are cool things going on, but it's hard to think of enough trivia questions about an
Right,
event. So we have to think about something that is like fun for trivia, and also we
right.
could come up with enough stuff about it.
Yes. And child friendly.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
righty.
so much for joining us, everyone. We are super happy to have you all here today and have you all playing along. And we just have a lot of fun doing this trivia, and we hope that you have a lot of fun too. You can check out Randy's resources that you mentioned earlier. And I have some resources too. Right now, I'm doing an advent calendar, and I have a little surprise for kids in there every day, which is like a little unit study about Advent. And I have a surprise for moms in there every day, which is some kind of awesome freebie. Randy's is coming up on the 16th. So if you want to get in on that, the links, I think they might not be in the description. I'll put this one into chat because I think I gave Randy a different
Yeah,
link
put it
when
in
we
the
were
chat.
setting this up. So
And if you got my newsletter this morning, it's also in there.
yes,
The correct or like the most correct link is in there
yes.
to sign up for the whole thing.
Oh, we're so glad that you guys had fun, Ashley and Paula, and everyone else who joined us too. I know. Thank you. I think it was Tropical Preppy answered some questions. So thank you everyone who joined in and answered questions. It's so much more fun when you answer the questions. I mean, you can totally answer them at home if you just are watching along and talking with your family what they are. But it's nice from our end when we see the answers in the chat, have a little interaction with you all. We really enjoy getting to hear your guesses.
I missed your voice this week.
I know they were working on other things.
All
My son told me he's like, this is not as cool as aviation history. I'm like, okay, sorry, I
all
can't do
right.
aviation history
Right.
every week.
Okay. Topic. All right. Well, happy holidays, whatever holidays you're celebrating this month. I hope you enjoy them. And we will see you next year.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, we should be off now. I ended the stream.